Good evening. Let me say welcome to my colleagues and staff, as well as the citizens who are on this call for our budget 2022 budget public meeting, our second one following our May 27th meeting. Let me call the meeting to order and ask Ms. Mathis for the roll call for members present.
Certainly. Malinowski. Pugh.
Yes.
McBride.
Here.
Livingston.
Here.
Terracio.
Here.
Joe Walker. Barron.
Here.
Overture Walker. Mackey.
Here.
English. Got you. Thank you. English. Newton.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And for the record, Mr. Malinowski did inform me prior to the meeting that he had a conflict before this meeting was set and he would not be able to attend. Next item is the adoption of the agenda. And before I take that motion on the public hearing, it should be stated as budget public hearing as an item on the agenda, item 3. With that said, the chair will entertain a motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Moved,
Second.
properly second. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask Ms. Mathis to call the roll for the motion to adopt the agenda.
Certainly. Malinowski. Pugh.
Yes.
McBride.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Terracio.
Yes.
Joe Walker. Barron.
Yes.
Overture Walker.
Yes.
Mackey. Mackey. English. Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Ms. Mathis, I was a yes, sorry.
Thank you. I've got you.
Okay.
Thank you. This particular budget public hearing was scheduled by council as a result of some concerns reference our last meeting on May 27th. We thought several persons may wish for the opportunity to speak who did not get a chance to. On the meeting on the 27th, we did meet the state requirement as it relates to a public budget hearing, but council felt that to make sure more people have opportunity to speak, that we will have a second budget public hearing to allow those folks to speak, particularly those folks to speak to a topic or an organization that was not covered at the last meeting was one of the primary focus. So this time, I just want to have our staff to move forward with the various persons who submit information for a public hearing. Ms. Mathis has that information. What they'll start doing tonight is just sharing those various comments from different individuals regarding the budget. It will follow the same procedure as the normal budget hearing process was followed. In other words, each comment will be up to 2 minutes per council rules, and also up to 30 minutes total per council rules, unless council chooses to extend that time or waive that its orders to move forward on that. Before I start, if my colleagues have any specific comments before we get started, you may do so now. With that said, I'll ask Ms. Mathis to take over from here to share with us the various comments received from constituents.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I will start off, and again, we'll follow the same format where each one of us will read one comment. And I just want to verify and reiterate that all comments will not be read. However, all comments have been collected and submitted to council members. Only those topics which are new and were submitted and were not previously covered in the previous meeting will be read tonight. So that being said, I'll start off. This comment is from Dawn Darby. Please read the following comments at the budget meeting. The Therapy Place provides 120 children each week from 11 Midlands counties, with the majority being from Richland County. Families travel from Chapin, Blythewood, Eastover, Hopkins, and more Richland cities to receive the specialized services our clinic provides for their child's special needs. These families are in financial, emotional, and social crisis due to their children's challenges. Having families to understand helps them become stronger in order to advocate for their child, to find resources and support each other. Activities such as respite, family fun days, community field trips, and support groups help develop the bonds these families need to maneuver their unique situations. Thank you for your support, the Therapy Place, in helping us get the 10-year milestone. We hope to continue our partnership and invite you to come to visit and see for yourself the impact we are making with your help. An open house is being scheduled for this fall to reveal our latest facility improvements and celebrate 10 years. Thank you, Dawn Darby. Michelle?
Yes, ma'am. This comment is from Rebecca Lorick. The staff of Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands, our board of directors, and the many survivors we serve, thank you in Richland County for your continued support. Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands is a private, nonprofit, United Way member agency that provides free and confidential services to survivors of sexual assault and their loved ones, including a 24-hour crisis hotline, hospital accompaniment, legal and personal advocacy, individual and group counseling, and community education in Richland, Lexington, Newberry, Clarendon, and Sumter counties. Our headquarters remain in Richland County, where more than 50% of our clients are served. During 2020, we were successful in serving 915 Richland County survivors with more than 8,610 supportive services. Without access to our 24-hour crisis hotline, hospital accompaniment, crisis intervention, advocacy, and counseling services, these survivors would be at extreme risk for symptoms related to untreated trauma. Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands offers healing for those impacted by sexual abuse, reducing the likelihood of addiction, mental health symptoms, unemployment, incomplete education, and other costly social disparities. In Richland County alone, we work with more than 400 partners to provide supportive services and or prevention education. For 37 years, we have sustained a key partnership with the Richland County Sheriff's Department to provide supportive services for victims of sexual assault. Recently, we entered into a new partnership with the Sheriff's Department where we placed a counselor on site to provide crisis services, counseling, and training for deputies. Pairing law enforcement with staff members who have extensive training in responding to trauma has already improved collaboration and increased interactions with victims. Additionally, this partnership has increased support for officers experiencing vicarious trauma, allowing them to access free confidential counseling. That's time. Tamar.
This is from Ms. Merrill Johnson. To the distinguished council members of Richland County, MIRCI is the only commission on the accreditation of rehabilitation facilities accredited behavioral health care provider specializing in supportive housing and behavioral health care in the Midlands of South Carolina for persons with serious mental illness and substance use disorders, many of whom were homeless upon service entry. MIRCI emphasizes getting homeless individuals, families with children, and unaccompanied youth engaged in treatment and transitioned into supportive, permanent housing. We are requesting $250,000 from Richland County to support our adult and youth service programs for individuals age 17 and above. MIRCI is not a shelter. However, we partner with local shelters to assist approximately 1/3 of homeless individuals with mental illness in our community. MIRCI utilizes national best practices throughout its program areas, including Assertive Community Treatment Act, teams often described as a hospital without walls for behavioral healthcare delivery, trauma-focused CBT, combative behavioral therapy, and trauma-informed practices in our youth programs. And perhaps most impactful, our housing department using Housing First, a national best practice recognition by SAMHSAA, and HUD for providing housing to individuals experiencing homelessness and mental illness first. In 2020, MIRCI housed 320 people, and 91% remained stably housed for 1 year. Of the 273 individuals who took part in our behavioral health care program in 2020, 91% made progress with their plan of care. Since opening in 2017, our youth drop-in center has served over 500 youth. Time. Ms. Mathis?
Thank you. This comment is from Carrie Draper. The COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including difficulty of many residents to access affordable, healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access areas, the loss of grocery stores, and more communities experiencing food insecurity, especially those periodically of color, are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the county's rate of food insecurity 3 percentage points from last year's, resulting in hundreds of more families unfortunately experiencing food insecurity. As a resident of Richland County, I asked the County Council to work with the City of Columbia and a local church to invest American Rescue Plan funds to support a mobile market initiative that will help bring more affordable, healthy produce to residents of the county. As a member of the Columbia Food Policy Committee, I helped gain feedback from the community members in the city and county on their interest in purchasing food from a mobile market. Of 206 survey respondents, including my neighbors, 76.7% said they would be interested in this food access approach, and an additional 17.5% said they would maybe shop at a mobile market if one was available. Supporting a mobile market will help improve food security while also increasing income for local produce farmers in my neighborhood and beyond. The American Rescue Plan is designated to help communities to get back on their feet from the harsh impacts of the pandemic. By designating a portion of the county's $80 million to uplift residents out of food insecurity, it will help create employment opportunities, allow more individuals and families to access healthy food, and work to solve the country's ever-growing issue of the loss of access to healthy food. I asked the county to designate a portion of the American Rescue Plan funds for food access to support a countywide mobile market initiative. Sincerely, Carrie Draper. Michelle?
Okay, this comment is from Basil Garcia. The COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including the difficulty of many residents to access affordable, healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access areas, the loss of grocery stores, and less food insecure communities are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the county's rate of food insecurity 3 percentage points from last year, resulting in hundreds of more families unfortunately experiencing food insecurity. The Columbia Food Policy Committee has been active over the past 4 years, bringing forth programmatic and policy recommendations for the City of Columbia to improve the local food system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the committee worked closely with the county's Government and Community Services Department to hold a produce giveaway, survey over 200 community members about a new mobile market initiative, and work together to promote beneficial community services. As an associate of the Columbia Food Policy Committee, I ask that Richland County continue to support the work of the committee and work to improve food access within the county by allocating $125,000 of Richland County's annual budget to support the mobile market. City of Columbia and a local church have already donated $50,000 to help see the mobile market launch before the end of 2021. In order to make this goal, the Columbia Food Policy Committee has asked for City of Columbia to donate an additional $100,000 toward this effort. As a resident of Richland County, I would love to see Richland County also support this endeavor by setting aside $125,000 in its annual budget toward the mobile market. The mobile market will provide healthy, affordable foods initially to 29203, 29204, and 29223, with plans to eventually spread to unincorporated and rural areas of Richland County. Thank you for your consideration and support in advance to provide more affordable, healthy foods to residents of Richland County. Tamar.
This is from Bobby Way. Please don't take the tools away from folks who need them. This is important work. Let them do it. Ms. Mathis?
This is from Raj Aluri. Dear Richland County members, thank you for your support for Richland Columbia International Food Festival. Thanks to your help, the festival has returned this year after being canceled in 2020 by the pandemic. It is thanks to your help. It is taking place this weekend, June 5th and 6th at the fairgrounds. Please join us. We would love to have you on our stage this Saturday at 2 to greet the audience and experience International Flag Ceremony. This is an alcohol-free family event with all COVID-19 precautions in place. It is one of the largest international events. This is appropriate because Richland County is the most diverse county in South Carolina, representing about 200 nationalities and many more cultures. We speak about 100 languages. Local colleges and universities alone represent 100 counties before the pandemic, with the annual economic impact of about 100 million. Foreign-owned companies create about 7% of state employment. About 25% of restaurants in our area are owned by foreign-born people or serve ethnic cuisines. Foreign-born or first and second-generation immigrants own approximately 50% or more of the hotels and motels in our area. The mission of the Columbia International Festival since 1996 has been to bring people from all backgrounds together to build a more unified society. This is a critical time of turmoil and division nationality. County support has made this event possible, and your support will be crucial for the spring of 2022. Therefore, on behalf of thousands of people representing 200 nationalities in our country, I respectfully ask County Council to continue funding the event in FY22 and beyond. Again, thank you for your unwavering support for Columbia International Festival over the years. Very truly yours, Raj Aluri. Michelle?
This comment is from William Sterrett. I urge Richland County Council to fund the Columbia City Ballet at the highest possible level. In spite of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were able to continue to provide live performances in a safe manner, and our audiences were a significant source of revenue for both the A-Tax and H-Tax funds. Columbia City Ballet performed to sold-out audiences even in the midst of the global pandemic, a strong testament to our importance in the community as a major arts organization and justification for our funding being prioritized. As the county's largest employer of professional artists, it is important that we receive adequate funding in order to successfully market the productions in our 2021-22 performance season. While we understand the hard decisions facing council in this funding cycle, we strongly feel that it is imperative to safeguard organizations such as ours who have a proven track record of good stewardship and whose patrons consistently support hospitality-related business throughout the county. Tamar?
This is from Flores Bowman. Dear Richland County Council, the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including the difficulty for many residents to access affordable healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access, the loss of grocery stores, and less food insecurity communities are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the county's rate of food insecurity by 3% from last year's, resulting in hundreds of more families, unfortunately, experiencing food insecurities. The Columbia Food Policy Committee has been active for over the past 4 years, bringing forth programmatic and policy recommendations for the City of Columbia to improve the local food system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the committee worked closely with the county government and community services department to produce giveaways, survey over 200 community leaders about a new mobile market initiative, and work together to promote a beneficial community service. As a subcommittee member of the Columbia Food Policy Committee, I ask that Richland County continues to support the work of the committee and work to improve food access within the county by allocating $125,000 of Richland County's annual budget to support the mobile market. City of Columbia and a local church already donated $50,000 to help see the mobile market launch before the end of 2021. In order to make this goal, the Columbia Food Market Policy Committee has asked the City of Columbia to donate an additional $100,000 towards the effort. As a resident of Richland County, I would love to see Richland County also support this endeavor by setting aside $125,000 in its annual budget towards the mobile market. This mobile market will provide healthy, affordable food initially to the 29203, 29204, and 29223 resident area with plans to eventually spread to unincorporated and rural residence areas of Richland County. Thank you for your consideration and support in advance to provide more affordable, healthy foods to the residents of Richland County. Michelle? I'm sorry, Ms. Mathis?
This comment is from Jacqueline Atkins. It's following along the same lines. The COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including the difficulty of many residents to access affordable, healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access areas, the loss of grocery stores, and less food insecure communities are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the country's rate of food insecurity 3% points from last year, resulting in hundreds more families unfortunately experiencing food insecurity. The Columbia Food Policy Committee has been active for over the past 3 years, bringing forth programmatic and policy recommendations for the city of Columbia to improve the local food system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the committee worked closely with the county's Government and Community Service Department to hold a produce giveaway, survey over 200 community members about a new mobile market initiative, and work together to promote beneficial community services. As a member of the Columbia Food Policy Committee and a subcommittee member of the Mobile Market Committee, I ask that Richland County continue to support the work of the committee and work to improve food access within the country by allocating $125,000 of Richland County's annual budget to support the mobile market. City of Columbia and local church have already donated $50,000 to help see the mobile market launch before the end of 2021. In order to make this goal, the Columbia Food Policy Committee has asked for the City of Columbia to donate an additional $100,000 towards this effort. As a resident of Richland County, I would love to see Richland County also support this endeavor by setting aside $125,000 in its annual budget towards the mobile market. The mobile market will provide healthy, affordable foods initially to 29203, 29204, and 29223, with plans to eventually spread to incorporate and rural areas of Richland County. Thank you for your consideration and support in advance to provide more affordable, healthy foods to residents of Richland County. Michelle?
Yes, ma'am. This comment is from Christelle Spain. It also is in the same vein as the last two comments. The COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including the difficulty of many residents to access affordable, healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access areas, the loss of grocery stores, and less food insecure communities are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the county's rate of food insecurity 3 percentage points from last year, resulting in hundreds of more families unfortunately experiencing food insecurity. The Columbia Food Policy Committee has been active over the past 4 years, bringing forth programmatic and policy recommendations for the City of Columbia to improve the local food system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the committee worked closely with the county's Government and Community Services Department to hold a produce giveaway, survey over 200 community members about a new mobile market initiative, and work together to promote beneficial community services. As a member or subcommittee member of the Columbia Food Policy Committee, I ask that Richland County continue to support the work of the committee and work to improve food access within the county by allocating $125,000 of Richland County's annual budget to support the mobile market. Thank you for your consideration and support in advance to provide more affordable, healthy foods to residents of Richland County. Tamar.
All right, so this message is from Melvina Spain. It's verbatim of the last 4 messages. Dear Richland County Council, the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted a multitude of local issues, including the difficulty of many residents to access affordable, healthy food to keep their bodies and immunity healthy. Unfortunately, the rise of low food access areas, the loss of grocery stores, and less food insecurity communities are becoming far too common in Richland County. The COVID-19 pandemic increased the county's rate for food insecurity 3% points from last year, resulting in hundreds of more families, unfortunately, experiencing food insecurity. The Columbia Food Policy Committee has been active over the last 4 years, bringing forth programmatic and policy recommendations for the City of Columbia to improve the local food system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the committee worked closely with the county's government and community service department to hold produce giveaways, survey over 200 community members about a new mobile market initiative, and work together to promote beneficial community service. As a member or subcommittee member of the Columbia Food Policy Committee, I ask that Richland County continue to support the work of the committee and work to improve food access within the county by allocating $125,000 of Richland County's annual budget to support the mobile market. The City of Columbia and a local church have already donated $50,000 to help the mobile market launch before the end of 2021. In order to make this goal, the Columbia Food Policy Committee has asked for the City of Columbia to donate an additional $100,000 towards this effort. As a resident of Richland County, I would love to see Richland County also support this endeavor by setting aside $125 in its annual budget towards the mobile market. The mobile market will provide healthy food, initially to the 29203, 29204, 29223, with plans to eventually spread into unincorporated and rural areas of Richland County. Thank you for your consideration and support in advance to provide more affordable, healthy foods to residents of Richland County. Sincerely, Melvinia D. Spain.
Thank you. Excuse me for 1 minute. So that other folks can be heard too because of our time limit. If there's any others from the mobile market and it says the same thing, just give us the name and address of the person and just simply let us know that it repeated what was said already, so we'll know what they said. Mr. Pugh, did you need to speak?
No, sir, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that, sir. That's exactly what I was saying. We was wasting time. We give other people an opportunity that hadn't been heard. I appreciate you, sir.
All right, thank you. Y'all may proceed.
All right, I have, this is from the Executive Director of the Midlands Mediation Center. And I will go ahead and read that. Hold on one moment. The Midlands Mediation Center would not be able to support the residents of Richland County without the support of the county's grant, RCG. MCC is a community-based organization working with the community to address disputes, disagreements, and conflict. MCC is the product of 1964 Civil Rights Act Title 10, which states communities should have a place where they can go to resolve their disputes and disagreements. Community mediation centers and community relations services are a byproduct of the Title 10. South Carolina only has 2 such centers. MCC is grateful for Richland County grant, which allows the organization to serve communities and individuals as well as provide access to justice to individuals required by the courts to mediate prior to a court hearing. The resources provided from the Richland County grant, RCG, allows MMC to provide a sliding scale fee to residents in family mediation cases, which are required by the family court for all contested cases. Contested means if the family doesn't agree to parental visitation, child support or custody, alimony, division of property, and attorney fees, they are subject to mandatory mediation. February 2006 Court Annex ADR Rules and Amendment to Rule 606 SCA-CR. Mediation costs $200 per hour, court appointed, and up to $300 with private firms, with 1 hour administration free mediation fee required. A typical family with a contested matter will pay $400 minimum for mediation. The court requires that families have to mediate before they can receive a court hearing. A family court matters involving children with about 3 or 4 hours in mediation and about $800 to $1,000 for a family. Richland County grant to MMC allows us to provide the same level of service starting at $20 per hour for individuals making less than $10K per year and end up to $100 per hour for those making over $50K per year. We could not make this service available without your support and many volunteers who give their time and skills to mediate. MC serves approximately 225 families per year. About 60% of these families make less than $20K per year. For the City of Columbia to donate an additional, an additional $1,000 towards this effort as a Richland County. I think that was actually the end. I apologize. I think I moved past my line. That's the end. Michelle?
Yes, ma'am. The last comment we have is from Kristen Slocum, and she was also in favor of the mobile market. And she had the same comments as the past.
And I believe those were all the comments we had. All the new comments. Mr. Livingston, it's back to you.
Thank you very much. I thought I was unmuted. Just want to remind our constituents that if you remember tonight, these were topics or organizations not covered at our last meeting. If you submitted anything that was covered at our last meeting, those items have been submitted to all council members. We have those, we review those, and so keep in mind that it's not gone unnoticed. Any final comments from my colleagues?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. McBride, you recognize.
when you said items covered in our last meeting, you're speaking of the letters that were presented, right?
The last public hearing, yes.
And the last public hearing.
Yes.
Okay,
And
So
this one that was presented, that was not read, this one also.
okay.
Just
So I want
sure.
to make sure that the clerk of council's office did not get any other letters.
You mean any other letters that were not read this time?
Yes,
Yeah, there were some that was received that were topics and organizations that we heard the last time.
right, other than the ones that
Other than
spoke
that, yeah.
last time. I just wanted to make sure because it was my understanding several people, organizations told me they had submitted letters. So I just wanted to confirm that.
If I'm correct from my conversation with the clerk, that any topic or organization that was not covered last time and were presented were read this time.
Okay, thank you.
Is that correct, Ms. Mathis?
Yes, sir, that is correct. We did receive several other letters, and council has received those letters. They were just not read because they were covered in the previous meeting.
Ms. Teresa, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is close to what Ms. McBride said, but I don't think it duplicates. I just wanted to kind of make it public what the last, so how the comments that were read, and then also the comments that were submitted to us just in writing. What was the cutoff time for that? They went through, I'm thinking, was it Tuesday afternoon?
Oh, you mean to submit? Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. Ms. Mathis, you want to answer
okay.
that?
Yes, sir, I'll answer that if you'd like me to. Our notice said that we would collect responses until 5 p.m. or close of business day on June 1st, which we set a cutoff date and we applied that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Any other comments? If not, that's all we have for this particular meeting. Next item on our agenda is adjournment.
Mr. Chair, move
Yes.
to adjourn.
Motion for adjournment is second. Is there a
Second.
It's moving properly second. Ms. Mathis, can you call the roll for the motion to adjourn?
Certainly. Malinowski, Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Joe Walker, Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker, Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank everyone very, very much and have a great evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.